Hi, this is Dr. Greg Oliver. Hello again from Fat Doctor TV. Well, we're back in Indiana here, our hometown of Indianapolis, in studio today, back from our cruising, and welcome back to Fat Doctor TV. Today we're going to talk a little bit about what we are is what we eat. There was a book many years ago that actually came out and was about that. It said that what we eat is what we are. And so the theory was that if you ate a lot of fat, you'd have fat. If you ate a lot of sweets, you'd have problems with sweet and sugar and diabetes, and if you ate a lot of protein, you'd be strong and muscly. Well, it's a little more detailed than that. That's not really true. Basically what happens is if we eat too many calories, if we get too much fuel overall, we convert it into fat. Doesn't matter whether it's protein, doesn't matter whether it's carbohydrate, and of course if we eat fat, we tend not to convert that into much of anything as long as we have protein and carbohydrates in our body. So let's change the theory a little bit. It is true that being overweight and having too much fat tissue on the body is related to, number one, too many calories in the body, not enough caloric expenditure. But more importantly, it's more related to carbohydrates, eating too many carbohydrates. Well, what are those carbs? We've got lots of episodes. Go back and look at some of those. But just briefly, I like to say it's the white foods: bread, pasta, potatoes, rice, and of course all the packaged foods that come from those things. Anything that's made out of sugars, corn syrup, those types of things. Those are carbohydrates. Now, you also have seen books that say good carbs, bad carbs. It's true that some carbohydrates are used much more efficiently in the body. Some are converted more rapidly to fat. Some are converted into fuel. Some are more slowly burned as fuel. Some are not. Carbohydrates are really just chains of glucose. In the simplest form, a carbohydrate is just a single molecule of glucose or sugar. And not to be confused with table sugar, which is actually a combination of two of the different sugars together, known as sucrose. But eating those simple carbohydrates, the fuel is burned very quickly. If you get too many of them, our body has to convert it into fat. Now, there are complex carbohydrates, which a lot of people talk about as good carbohydrates, and certainly they are better for you. And things like potatoes, pastas, rice, those are more complex. Those are chains of sugars or glucose held together. And so our body has to expend some energy to break up those chains to use the fuel. And then there are those that have a lot of fiber in them, like the green vegetables and the hard vegetables, those with high cellulose content, the ones that are crispy and crunchy when you eat them raw. Those are even better carbohydrates for you. And certainly the best carbohydrates are the crunchy green vegetables. However, you could gain weight if you ate too many of those. Now, it'd be hard to because there's not a lot of caloric value in that. But we're not grass eaters. We're not only green vegetable eaters, so we do have to have other things in our diet. But the point of the whole matter is that yes, if you eat too many carbohydrates, you will make too much fat. If you eat too much fat, those calories have to go somewhere, and they are stored as fat in our body. And if you ate too much protein, that might not be great for your kidneys and organ functions, but you have to break the protein down into amino acids. The amino acids have to be converted to glucose, and then the glucose is used as fuel. Well, if you get too much glucose in any way, shape, or form, you're going to convert it into fat. However, we do know that the proteins are better. So what we tell people is adjust your diet, because if you eat too many carbohydrates, if you eat too many fats, and if you eat too many calories overall, you're going to be fat. So what we want you to do is to cut your calorie intake down, increase your caloric expenditure, and cut back on carbohydrates. I like to tell people who are trying to lose weight is to actually balance your protein and your carbohydrates, about 100 grams of each, and then fat would be the other, say, 20% of your diet. That's going to come to around 1,000 to 1,200 calories. Of course, get with your healthcare provider, your doctor, or get with us here at Fat Doctor TV if you would like more specifics on exactly how to balance that diet. So, you will become what you eat slowly over time, not exactly as it was said in the old past books, but it does come true. So be careful of what you eat, because you might just become that, and heaven knows you don't want to become a chip or a cookie. So that's it today from Dr. Greg Oliver at Fat Doctor TV. We'll have more episodes coming soon with lots of new information, and it's great to see you as always. Have a fantastic day. Bye now.